What do you think of when I say mild cognitive impairment in the elderly population?
Um, Maybe like dementia or Alzheimer's?
What do you think of when I say mild cognitive impairment in the elderly population?
Dementia and
I think of Alzheimer's.
When I think of that, I think I usually think of dementia because it's not like they're completely forgetting everything, but they're kind of becoming confused about their whereabouts, and they kind of have loss of consciousness sometimes. They don't really know where they are all the time. They don't always know what date it is, and sometimes they forget who people around them are, but eventually it comes back to them.
Mild cognitive impairment is a seriously speculative condition. The changes caused by MCI do not meet the diagnostic guidelines for dementia, as they are not severe enough to affect one's ability to function in daily life. Some claim that those who suffer from MCI are at a far greater risk of developing Alzheimer's or a similar condition. However, not everyone with MCI is bound to suffer greater cognitive decline, and many even improve. According to John Hart Jr. of the American Academy of Neurology, MCI is clinically defined by an impairment in one or more cognitive domains for age, but do not meet criteria for dementia. How does this differ from normal aging, and who can say what a normal cognitive decline associated with age really is?
MCI is a clinical diagnosis that is a representation of a doctor's best professional judgment about the reasons and explanations for a person's symptoms. There are currently no actual tests or procedures to determine the underlying cause, but there is a medical workup, including examination of medical history, assessment of function and daily activities, in-office neurological examination, assessment of mental status, evaluation of mood, and input from a family member.
All right, statistics for MCI. If MCI were to be correctly diagnosed, it would only affect approximately 6% of the elderly population. So pharmaceutical marketing has increased as a result of the growing proposed affected population, which has grown to 1/4 to 1/2 the population of 65 years or older. Boom.
As you get older, walking a mile gets a little bit slower, so you won't be able to walk quite as quick as if you were a teenager. And the same sort of thing happens with your brain. Your brain gets a little slower, and your cognition slowly gets a little bit impaired. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have dementia or Alzheimer's. It just means that you're getting older.
One of the main problems with diagnosing mild cognitive impairment too quickly is that we often make the association that it leads directly to Alzheimer's. This can pose a huge risk in terms of pharmaceutical companies, because it is clear that their motives are driven by money instead of individual well-being and health.
MCI, or mild cognitive impairment, is a seemingly
One of the main problems with diagnosing MCI a little too quickly is